Hello, this is UATV. My name is Henry Keane. I'm, in case you didn't know, Latvian journalist, the holder of a Latvian passport. So it is fair to say that I'm a rare bird in Ukraine, but not too rare. My fellow compatriots are here in Ukraine, too, fighting on the front lines. Today I have an honor and a privilege to greet in our studio my compatriot, Latvian fighter with same very call sign, Latvian, Alvis Luksha, in our studio. Sveiki, Al.
Sveiki.
So, first of all, before any of my questions, I want to show you a compiled version of files that you have sent me. That will be a kind of a military business card for you, for my audience. Is that all right with you?
Absolutely.
All right. Enjoy.
Another such figure, a fellow neo-Nazi. His name is Alvis Luksha. He received a 14-year prison sentence. He became infamous for... Just imagine that level of cynicism and dehumanization, if such people can even be called humans in the first place. He showed on the air of Latvian television the teeth of a dead Russian soldier, likely knocked out of the dead Russian soldier's body.
Як я люблю цю роботу. Не соромно, не за себе, не за хлопців. Слава Україні.
First of all, people don't know that, but we know that Andres Mamikins is an our compatriot who ran to Russia, and now he's a propaganda head, talking head. He calls you whatever. He calls you Nazi or whatsoever, tells us a story about Russian teeth that you were showing on air of Latvian television. What he's talking about?
Honestly, when I first time saw this, I was in shock, of course, and I never seen it like on live television. One of my friends, he calls me, he's like, hey, I'm watching this Russian propaganda right now, and guess what? I see you. And then he takes a phone and records it. But the worst thing is that, unfortunately, millions of people will believe it. And even some percentage of Latvian citizens, unfortunately,
so they will believe that you came to Latvian
Yes.
television
Correct.
and on air with the teeth of a dead Russian soldier, and you offered it, does anybody need any teeth or what? Or bragging that you killed a soldier, something like that.
Can you just imagine that, like on live TV? Like,
yeah, I can.
If you're talking about that, then show it, prove it. If it's Latvian national television.
Well, that was actually my next question. No proof followed, it just...
Not at all. It's just another, propaganda.
Okay. But do you believe that Mamikins believe that? Because I knew him. He wasn't stupid.
I didn't know him. I believe that he's not believing in what he's saying. And the reason is, of course, because he has to leave Latvia, right? Otherwise, he would be arrested. And he has no other reason how to go to Russia and, start doing what he's
make his
best
living.
At. Yes, and make his living, of course.
So you are now a fighter of Ukrainian armed forces?
Yes, I'm officially serving in Ukrainian armed forces.
And you have Latvian passport?
I do, yes. I'm citizen of Latvia.
What made you take that decision to fight for Ukraine?
Honestly, I came to Ukraine in 2020. Right, so I lived here 2 years before the full-scale invasion. And the war just happened. That's it. I remember that day, like 5:30 in the morning.
Right.
I woke up because my balcony door started opening from the blast, from the waves of blast. However, it was winter. I was surprised. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then after like 3-4 minutes, my friend called me from the previous place of work and said, Alvis, war is started. In 30 minutes, I'll be next to your apartment and we have a lot of work to do.
But this is a challenge. You say the end of your sentence that we have a lot of work to do, because I was coming to Ukraine when the war started, and I've seen a lot of people. I'm not talking about mothers and little children. Of course, they were fleeing out of the country. People come about moving into the country. We're not so much, and not so much of. You had a choice to leave to safety with your Latvian passport, with your beautiful Ukrainian girlfriend. But you choose to stay.
I had a choice, and I'll tell you, even 10 days before the full-scale invasion, and Latvian embassy sent me an email that we believe that in a week or two the conflict will start, and we're asking our fellow citizens to leave the country. And I didn't, right? And the reason is, first thing, I lived for 2 years. I had my friends there, my place of work, and I really enjoyed my life here, right? And I'm still enjoying it, right? And then the question is, why the hell am I supposed to leave if some sick bastard decides to invade this country? I choose to fight back, right? I took it very personally. And then, second reason, when I saw what Russian soldiers are leaving behind them, I saw these mass atrocities. I saw a lot of, things that I do not supposed to see, and no one here do not supposed to see. It's just so not normal to human being, to human nature.
I know that I'm looking in your face, in your eyes, and I see that you're trying to find the proper words to describe the atrocities. I've been in your shoes, I've walked in your shoes because I've been in Bucha. I've looked from the edge into the pit of the ground full of dead bodies. Men, women, children shot in the nabs, faces disfigured, all that. I was trying to convey and to explain it to other people. But for them, sometimes war stops when they just close, their gadget, just turn it off. And that's like the war stops. They have fatigue. They are tired. Are you tired?
I understand those people abroad that are saying that we are tired. I can understand that. But on the other hand, just think ahead. Whole geopolitical structure is changing. If Ukraine is going to lose, people abroad, the countries that are close to Ukraine, are going to feel it, right? And then answering your question, if I'm tired, no. I'm not tired, even though I had very heavy injury. But I do not regret. And if somebody would ask me, are you going to do it again? If you have a choice to do not, I'll say I will do it again. Because I really believe that I'm on the right side, and we are honestly fighting against great evil.
And that great evil, we can discuss for hours what we have, both Latvians, and why we're here. And Absolutely. You're a real hero. I'm just supporting you. You take it. You don't take it for granted.
I'm just doing my job. But
yeah, you're doing your job, and you love your job. We've seen that.
I do.
Right. But and you survived, and you have all the rights to call yourself a proper man, at least a proper man that defends his values, not an oil price tag. In Europe, your call sign is Latysh, Latvian.
Yeah, that's right.
I've seen another though. Here in some, not many of them, but I've seen at least 2. Is that true? Someone else is holding the same call sign?
I know this guy, yes.
Really?
He is actually a blogger. He was fighting as well.
Right.
He lost his leg. However, his ancestors are from Latvia. But I'm Latvian. That's why I decided to take this call sign, yeah. Just yesterday I was speaking to children in Stara Bosag. They were under occupation. This is an orphanage.
it's hard to explain the pain of these children when they were hiding, and Russians killed one child deliberately, or maybe not deliberately, because he was running and they were shooting, and the child is dead as a result. And I was asking all of these children, it was sort of an interview, like just 30, 40 seconds for each, will they be ever able to forgive Russians for that? No was a firm affirmative answer, always, just like without any thinking. I'm not going to ask that question to you, but I'm going to ask another question. Do you believe that Russia can change to better anyway? Maybe in future?
I don't think so. Not for the next 50 years, because in order for them to change, generations must change. 1 generation, 2 generations, maybe even 3. However, from what I see, the amount of propaganda that they're sharing, yes, it's enormous, and it stays there. It stays there, and families are sharing it with their children, and then their children are going to share with their children. So I don't think so. For next 50, 60 years, definitely not.
That was a tricky question, actually, because the same is happening in Latvia, as you know. I posted the picture of you and me at Latvian reception, and I can show you my own messenger.
Yeah.
It's hell, literally. Interesting for me it's like a literature. People are wishing so many ways for me to die. And for you and me are Nazis. We are whatever animals and dogs and swine and whatever. And they're enjoying to hate us.
Yeah.
Staying in Latvia, being in Latvia, a part of Europe, feeling that the Latvian nation was even so kind, actually, not to throw them out after occupation, and they're not even saying that this is occupation. This is a big geopolitical problem of Latvia, not the whole Europe. But do you believe there is a solution to that? Do you believe that we can talk to these people, talk sense to these people? Can we try to find a way, a bridge, or we have to be hard enough to expel them from Russia, or something like that? What is your thought on the matter?
For example, if that person has for example, Russian citizenship or dual citizenship, Latvian and Russian,
then it's easy,
or
right?
some other nation's passport, then of course we should expel them.
Right.
Then if we're talking about Latvian citizen, there are no, legal tools how to do that, right? So forcefully, with using force, it's not going to work.
No, it's not.
It will only create more hate, right? What I think, we just have to popularize more and more Latvian language, Latvian culture, right? To put more money in it. And of course, maybe make some harsher laws for them, for those people that are popularizing, war against Ukraine, right?
Okay. Do you believe Russia is going to invade Baltic states?
Russia, from what I know, planned to invade Baltic states, but it didn't happen because they wanted to make a blitzkrieg here, right? So it didn't
Which
work
also
out.
didn't happen.
Didn't happen, yes. So this is one reason. But they definitely have this in their minds, in plans, and I will explain you why. Because simply, if you will analyze Russian propaganda now,
right,
for the past 2, even 4 years, there are more and more narrative about Baltic states that they're Nazis, right? That they're the bad guys.
Well, we heard that from Mamikins' mouth.
We heard that from the Mamikins' mouth, yes. But it became more and more. So, And if you analyze the past years, the same happened with Ukraine, right? They prepared for this war for many, many, many years.
Also calling Ukrainians Nazis.
Yes, and they prepared their population. So now they're doing exactly the same regarding Baltic states, right? So and we have to think about it. Plus the amount of money what Russia spends on propaganda and informational war.
Yes. So if that happens, what would you do?
If that happens, my friends know that I'll go to Latvia and defend Latvia.
Call me, we'll go together.
Absolutely. Deal.
Do you, I'm not asking for the location where you're serving, but I just recently talked to someone who is very, very professional in geopolitics, and he told me, and also in diplomatic effort and in propaganda, and he told me that Russia doesn't actually need to win in Ukraine. He needs to make people believe that it is winning. For example, telling that we've taken Pokrovsk and show it on Russian TV for the domestic audience, but because the domestic audience is huge, also around the globe, then in America they see that, and not our interview, for example.
Absolutely. And
is there a way, my question, is there a way to counter that amount of money and pressure? Because obviously he is losing. He's holding less territory than 4 years ago. He lost 1 million of Russian lives, which he doesn't count, of course, the Kremlin and the Russian Tsar. But is there a way to stop propaganda? Because billions would be, we don't have that much money. So what do we do?
I'll tell you even more, even if they will lose this war big time. Inside Russia,
right,
they can tell that
winning.
We are winners,
right?
And people in Russia will believe it, right? And will celebrate the victory.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, people in Russia believe it's their own thing.
And but
but in Europe,
fight it?
Influence is huge.
I think only if we unite all together, right? And if we spend huge amount of money to fight it, if you spend technologies, if we use technologies, right? But still, it's just so big there. It's so huge, so much money involved.
But let's talk about the communication. I'm not asking, soldier to, there's an entangled problem that cannot be solved other than maybe cut. But for example, the communication in NATO is so strange and slow that it is time for Ukrainian fighters to teach them how to act in the real combat, because no one knows. It's Russians who know and Ukrainians who know. No other armies in the world. And we see that all the way around. So maybe there'll be a way for you to go to NATO and to teach them, to talk them. Would you do that if you have an opportunity to educate these people? Would you listen? Would they listen, you think?
They would not listen. That's based from my own experience, because before I was invited to Latvia as well to do some presentations about the war. Yes, they're happy to listen, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to, learning, everyone, this is the huge problem, actually. This is Ukrainian problem. This is Europe's problem. Every army's problem. People stay to their old systems. They're extremely lazy. They do not want to learn. And unfortunately,
the wolf is standing at the door.
Yes.
No matter.
Not all of them, but there's a huge percentage, right? They do not want to learn to change things because they are inside the system for so long. Same, we have here the same problem, right? And this is one of the issues.
This is one of the issues. Can it be solved?
It can be solved, but
with a different generation of commanders?
Not a generation. In Ukraine, there's a lot of talented, people that are serving in the army.
Right.
But no one will let them to, make these changes. unfortunately.
And you don't believe this is going to happen in the nearest future?
No. Because I have experienced all these problems.
So
Like
what are you
yeah.
saying is that one of the editors-in-chief, if I'm not mistaken, this was someone from Washington Post, or maybe I'm mistaken, from Wall Street Journal, he said that the Ukrainian-Russian war is when a big Soviet army is fighting a small Soviet army. Is that true?
It's not true, but in some aspects,
Right.
it is. Because a lot of from Soviet system stayed in the Ukrainian army. And we're still holding, and in some areas winning, only because Russians have more issues with this old system than we
like
do.
weaponizing the problem of an enemy.
We can, yeah.
Well, anything to add to it? I mean, there's...
It just, for example, let's take my experience.
Okay,
I got injured, blah, 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 went to hospital. You're not going to believe it, how much paperwork I have. This stack. And after injury, every month, I have to go over and over and over it again through the same thing, right? So now I'm waiting for... they're supposed to pay for my injury and level of the injury, and I'm waiting more than half a year because it just stuck. It's old Soviet system.
So it's not even the problem of money. It's because
It's
the
not
money
the
is
problem
there.
of
It's just
money.
the paperwork. It's just a bureaucracy.
Correct. And this is Ukraine's problem. This is Latvia's problem. This is NATO problem.
Oh, yeah.
Because if Russia will start a war with NATO, I don't know how many hours or days will take them to, start fighting back.
Do you believe they will?
Let's put it that way. Some countries will not. Some countries will do. And I believe those countries that are closer to Ukraine, like Poland and like Baltic states, they will fight, and because they have history, right? So they know how it is to be occupied by, Soviets and fight against them. That's it. But other countries, I don't think so. It will be like NIMBY, not in my backyard, right? So.
Okay.
I mean, on TVs and everywhere they can say whatever. But when the real thing happened, personally, I think NATO right now is weak. And there's a lot of changes that need to be happen, and a lot of things that need to be implemented. And it need to be done right now. Even 2 years ago,
right.
Even not now, 2 years ago, because this war is changing so drastically, so quickly.
Swiftly it is.
If I'm not on the front line for a week or two, when I'm coming back, I'm already outdated. There is already situation is changed. There are some new things that I have to learn. Right?
Like you're talking about the military, the
military technology.
The technology and drones and everything is evolving.
Correct.
Are you planning your career in Ukrainian army?
No. I'm not planning my career because of the injury actually. Right. I'm not so good anymore, at running and jumping into the trenches and clearing out, So now it's more... technological, let's put it that way.
Okay.
So we're using land drones, right? So it's a bigger distance and, of course, greater chance to stay alive, right? So, yeah.
But you're planning to stay in Ukraine?
Absolutely. I love Ukraine. I love this country. I love this culture. I love food. I admire people. And there were several situations that showed me that I am in the right place in the right time. I'm supposed to be there.
I have the same feeling, actually. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, I know why. but I mean, it's easy as that. But maybe personal question. Do you, when I'm reading all these messages that Henry, die, bastard, you and your family and your dogs and cats, you're all Nazis, die, and so on. And people, when Zelensky was 17 years old, Putin came to power. My son is asking me, Dad, is that even possible? For almost 30 years, one man completely rules the country, and they believe that we are Nazis. When the president is Jewish and the Minister of Defense is Muslim, and we are Nazis, and Latvians are fighting for... But the question is there any other way to react to it than not to react to it at all?
You know what? When full-scale invasion started, I was... taking different videos, and pictures, and was posting a lot on Facebook just to share information, like my everyday life, what we do. I was sharing a lot, and I was getting exactly the same messages. First, of course, I was very angry, even was sending everything to our security, state security forces, right? But then I realized it doesn't really work, right?
Why? The people don't believe you, or they don't want to believe you?
You know what? And I was telling this to my fellow Latvians as well. The people that supporting war in Latvia need to understand that when war's starting, no one is going to separate. What are your beliefs? Like, who are you? What is skin color you have? Like, it doesn't matter. Artillery shells are not going to pick, oh, this guy is Latvian, okay, this guy is pro-Russian, okay, we're not going to touch it. No, they do not understand simple thing. When war is going to start, like, everything is going to be destroyed, and they do not understand that, unfortunately. But when they will, it will be too late.
Maybe this is a nice place to stop the interview on a dark point, but I don't want to do that. Let's talk about, is anything you're optimistic? Do you think please, go on.
Honestly, I'm always optimistic. I'm always staying positive. Even when we get injured or in the hardest and harshest times in the trenches, I always was positive. And I know and I believe Ukraine will definitely win, right? Because we're doing the right thing. We're fighting for Ukrainian homeland, right? We did not invade Russia. Russia is trying to invade us.
But Russia thinks, the Russian people always say, and Putin always repeats that narrative, that wherever Russian boot is set in, this is Russia. Yeah. How can you fight that? It's...
you know where is the key actually here? A long time ago when I was in Leiden University, I read one of the article. It's about Vietnam War. Right. It's a scientific article, but the main thing was about motivation, right? Not the amount of weapons and tanks and everything. Like people are those who operate, armored vehicles that are shooting. The thing is in motivation, how people are motivated, how much they're motivated, to fight, right? And Ukrainians are very motivated because they're fighting for their own home, for their families, right? And this is the key. I know for sure Russian soldiers, they're not motivated so much. Maybe in the beginning of full-scale invasion, some of them were, but right now, majority only for this, only for money. And their motivation is very low. Just the question is for how long this war will continue. But we're staying strong, we're motivated, and we're ready to fight. Doesn't matter what it takes. We'll be there, we'll be fighting. We have no other choice. you know.
Слава Україні.
Героям слава.
Дякую.
Thank you.
Well, that was it. My fellow compatriot, Alvis Luksha, was with us. We are proud to be Latvians being in Ukraine, doing our job. He's fighting, and I am doing my journalistic job, reporting on that. We are UATV. Stay tuned for more. Goodbye. Subscribe to UATV English and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.